You sell your iiRcade in 2023. One of the most hyped arcade machines of all time, having those USB ports on here. A great monitor. For TN monitor, the colors are phenomenal. The marquee. Something very special. It stands out about this cabinet. Endless possibilities that we're gonna get. And we'll get into that in a second. But just to drop a few things, the premium speakers. The step-up marquee from those first gen. You can't find these anywhere. They're relics from the past. 2023 was a shaky year. It's getting promising though. So do you cash out? Do you sell it? Or do you hold on to it? For the nostalgia, for the possibilities of what's next. What else can I do with this? We're gonna get into that. So before we go full out 2024 on new releases, like claw machines, from companies like iiRcade went up, do we sell our iiRcade golds? Welcome to this iiRcade walk and talk. Now we haven't talked iiRcade for a long time, even more than the hat. It was right here, over 12 months ago. Exact spot, guys, that I announced that I'm going with an iiRcade Gold. I've caved, went with Space Invaders. Actually, kind of wanted Double Dragon. Still kind of want Double Dragon. But unfortunately, even 12, 13 months ago, Double Dragon was already sold out, never came back. So I went with Space Invaders. And making this statement right here at the mall, at kind of the dead end of the mall, that's why I wanted to come here. Because iiRcade's been through a roller coaster in 2023. Didn't last much into 2023, but we're gonna get into something on that. But it was right here where I made the announcement, and I was reached out from the iiRcadians, from gentlemen like Brooklyn Menace and Papa Brad, and from there, we carried on a friendship, a relationship, and we always had that passion about the iiRcade, and this is exactly where it started. So iiRcade closes the doors, and I'm using this as we've been here before, and we did an iiRcade video at this mall because kind of the dead mall. iiRcade goes out of business. Didn't last much into 2023, did it? And what happened? The iiRcade first gen becomes the go-to. I mean, we invested in the gold cabinets. We had promises. This was gonna be the cream of the crop arcades. You can see there are still some stores open on this end of the mall, but you know as well as I do, a lot of stores in the malls aren't the same. The iiRcade going out of business. We kind of fell short, didn't we? There was more expectations. And did we get them? Our first gen iiRcade, you got them. To this day, you can play whatever you want on your first gen iiRcade. You invested in the $798 for an iiRcade Gold. Dare I say, $999. What did we get out of that? We got Operation Wolf, we got Operation Thunderbolt, a bunch of games, and I will admit that I wish that I would have purchased more games. Well, I still could have, especially with all those sales near the end of iiRcade, but what do we get as gold owners? I mean, we sell, we could cash out. We're not gonna get all of our money back for the iiRcade Gold, but we'll get something. And do we put it towards a new cabinet from like Arcade 1-Up? Do we go for a deluxe? And that's exactly what I was thinking. I was considering, that's why I decided I want to do a video about the iiRcade before 2023 ends. This reminds me of one of those closed, you fit like 6 or 8 people in there, and you go on that virtual roller coaster. Remember those? Being a kid, like it's back. You have the VR glasses, and you're doing that same thing. Actually, the roller coaster I went on was the Beast. If you've been to Kings Island in Mason, Ohio, just right outside of Cincinnati, you'll know about the Beast. And if you ride it at night, I mean, it's wild. That's the first time I ever rode the Beast, was a virtual coaster. And seeing this, it's kind of like the mall kind of re-identifying itself. Same thing with iiRcade, because that's what Mystery Encoder did, right? Getting online back on your first gens and basically putting in any game you want on that iiRcade. But again, you know, having a gold, what did we get? The speculation of maybe one day, as soon as they can break that, hack it, we'll be able to do the same thing. But why did we buy the gold then? You know, expectations kind of fell short. That's why I thought maybe I sell. Maybe I sell for another Arcade 1-Up Deluxe. It is the year of the Deluxe, right? This isn't about Arcade 1-Up. It's just, you know, trying to keep up with new releases. You know, we do come to those times where we have to sell cabinets. And I'm gonna be completely honest. I was talking to my good friend, Triumph or Die. We talk a lot about the iiRcade. There's a gentleman who is extremely passionate. You know, they still have Santa Claus here. I don't know if I want to get him in the video. He's kind of doing this thing over there, but I'm on the back side. If you've ever seen a back side of a Christmas tree, here's the back side of a Christmas tree, and Santa Claus is right on the other side. Maybe we should ask Santa, you know, for a new arcade for Christmas, or another sale, right? How great would that be? But getting back to iiRcade, the thought of selling it to get a new one, I'm gonna tell you something. I think it's a bad idea. This video's not saying, hey, cash out on iiRcade. It's maybe you should keep your gold. You know how Tron and Burger Time and that first Star Wars, maybe Golden Axe, can kind of hold their value. The iiRcade gold is going to hold its value. And I think if you sell it, you might regret it. You can walk through the tree and there's Santa right there. And I'm tempted to ask him, maybe for an incredible deal on Shack Jam. You know how much I want Shack Jam, but it's good to see Santa Claus still back at the mall. Actually, a year ago, give or take a couple of weeks, we stood right in front of Barnes & Noble, right on the end. It's pretty much a staple for this mall. And we talked about, you know, what to expect for sales. And I remember talking Partycades over here, and we still really haven't gotten. We got a couple of NBA Jams and some Pac-Man since, but you know, we never got those Partycades. That's another thing I just thought about, is that Defender Partycade. Like, would you sell your Defender Partycade right now, knowing you could get a good chunk, or would you hold on to it? I've made the mistake in life of selling a lot of stuff I had, only to buy it back again. And you know, you reach a point where you're just like, I'm gonna hold on to this, because it might be worth something. And just for posterity, I'm gonna stand back in front. And actually, the last time we were here, it was probably like a Saturday afternoon, and there's just so many people coming and going, and just talking the passion, like what will we see from Arcade 1-Up with Partycades? What will we see if we do hold on to our iiRcade golds? What's in it for us besides the fact of, you know, if we sell it for, let's just say we get $600 if you had an iiRcade gold right now. If you held on to it, would you get 8? I'm not saying to hold on to it for more money. It's a piece of gaming history, and that's another thing that Triumph or Die and I talked about. Can I say that really 3 times fast? It's a piece of gaming history. It's a special cab. It's more than just an arcade. It's more than just a multi-cade. It's a pro cabinet, and we've only seen one other pro cabinet, and that's the KI Pro. And this can do so much more than any other arcade we have. This sunglass hut right here, the sunglasses that I'm always wearing, purchased from this very kiosk, this very location. Glasses that I cannot let go. If you've heard the story about the Kohl's Cash, about the new sunglasses I bought that I never wear, I've been wearing those for a very long time. And speaking of a long time, JCPenney's has been here forever. This mall, kind of an 80s feel. And you can see with the bricks, they've done some remodeling. They put the skylight in years ago. But coming here as a kid, like in the 80s, late 80s, like this mall, like this was the place. It had, you know, obviously KB Toy Store, and there was a Toys R Us close and everything. And then you'd have so many food venues here. It's just different. It's kind of like the iiRcade. I mean, it was a claw machine we started off with the video. I mean, there's really nothing down this aisle. There's really nothing left that we can do with our iiRcade Gold, right? Oh, check this out. Look at the Batman. That is cool. 60 bucks. You know what? Not bad. You have some other characters over here. I was just walking by. Actually, this store right here might have been called the merry-go-round at one point. And we're talking like 1993. If you remember the Cross Colors clothes, I actually bought a pair of Cross Colors jeans here. Oh, they got Batman. And not to change subjects, but another piece of gaming history is that At Games ALP 4K, and just seeing the peanuts here. I haven't decided on the skins yet, but I'm really tempted to go with peanuts. And you kind of see Snoopy everywhere, don't you? It's tempting, guys. These are tough decisions we make for our home arcades, isn't it? And now you go to the mall and instead of KB Toys, now you get Go, calendar toys and games. Like, you gotta have all three, hey? We don't get what we used to get going to malls. Like, you miss that nostalgia. And like right here, it's actually the perfect size, perfect scenario of how a KB Toys looked. It wasn't big, and you could just remember like how crowded it is. We're not talking KB Toys though, right? We're talking iiRcade. The iiRcade Gold. And just in case someone knew, I do live in Wisconsin, and at the end of this mall is kind of like their new image for a mall, Brookfield Square. Actually, Sears was on this end, and then Sears is completely gone. They put the movie theater in. They have a mural here, and bumper cars, Whirly Bowl. A bunch of interactive to bring people here, not just shopping, but spend late nights here, having the movie tavern, kind of a step up from your average movie theater. Preview show, and they do have some posters. We'll check out the Aquaman. Just walked by, it was pretty huge. And this is what iiRcade Gold you're gonna get. What do you mean by that? Come in Mystery Encoder and GRS. We can do the same stuff that the first gen iiRcades can do now. So before you sell your iiRcade Gold, just know that all you gotta do is get that control panel from GRS, Thunderstick Studios. And once that Mystery Encoder hat comes, you're gonna be able to get whatever you want on your iiRcade Gold. You can finally do the things that the owners of the iiRcade first gen are getting. And you know, for me, that's exciting. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to go that route because I have other multi-cades at home, and I just don't know how many multi-cades I personally going to need. But the possibilities of what else can we do with our iiRcades is, I mean, we're just getting started. It's that Aquaman poster, Jason Momoa. Could it be the last Aquaman we see? The tide is turning. Big DC guy. I'm a big Marvel guy too. Do like the movies. You might be getting a new run at DC. You know, things are changing. Warner Brothers. You could sell the properties. The iiRcade's changing. The iiRcade Gold. Not only a piece of gaming history, something that could be worth a lot of money, and something we can, another Wisconsin mural here, something we can definitely put whatever we want on there. You can mod it any way you want. It's kind of creepy right here. It reminds me of those pictures from like Harry Potter, like they move when you walk past them. And can you believe Spencer's is still here? It's just crazy. Like this Spencer's, I mean, gosh, it's probably been here since the late 90s. Like this very location, like literally this area right here is where Sears was. Like they really opened it up for that movie theater, for that Whirly Bowl, and the bumper cars. But it doesn't get much more nostalgic than Spencer's, does it? You know, it's kind of like even going to the grocery stores like a kid. You know, they have the horse, kind of like going to Meijer. You know, they kind of advertise that just right next to Spencer's. You got to give them all credit. Like they're doing things to get people to do other things, like to come here, get kids hyped about amusement parks. Kind of like what the iiRcade's doing, isn't it? Getting you hyped back about, hey, if you invested in this, it's not so much the iiRcade anymore. Now it's gentlemen like Glenn's Retro Gaming Show, Mystery Encoder, and other guys like B from Cons R Us, and To Die For, Bobby Vu. Like, you know, when it comes to modders, these are the guys. And the things that they can think of in the future for the iiRcade, either first gen or the gold. It's endless possibilities. You get anything you want on there. It's a reason to hold on to it. It's like finding those Jordans at Champs. The iiRcade, it's like, just hold on to it. Get the control deck, Mystery Encoder hack, and get the Jordans. These are Adidas. Get the Jordans. They're so hard to find, aren't they? It's that whole like lottery system, the raffle system on your iiRcade though. Get those games. Did you notice that Walmart's selling Reebok? And if you remember Aladdin's Castle, it's no more, right? But they did bring the Castlecade, and it's similar. It's bringing that arcade back to a mall. And basically, we're to the point where you could put any of these games on your iiRcade. Actually, I gotta say something that when I was walking in here, I was hoping that POW, Prisoners of War, would be right. This was the spot. It was right next to Pac-Man. It's gone. That's too bad. You know, it was like iiRcade was gone, wasn't it? Early 2023, they closed up shop. We all turned our Wi-Fi off on there. But what happened? It came back. And there's more stuff coming. And that's what it's all about. That's the advantage if you do decide to keep your iiRcade. Worry about those 2024 claw machine releases later on, you know? Right now, when you go into your arcade and you're looking around and you're like, I need to sell something, I want to get a new cabinet, don't sell your iiRcade Gold. Should you sell your iiRcade in 2023? I would think long and hard about it. And you know, it's yours. There's no right or wrong answer because it's your arcade. It's what you want to do. But you know, the price could be right, and somebody could offer you something really good. And to be honest with you, I don't think there's anything out there, any arcade 1-up, any at games, anything that I would trade mine or sell mine to get that. It's that good. It's just everything about it. And if there's something you don't have on there, you can always put something you want on it, right? That's the whole thing. It's the ultimate arcade machine, and it's just so much more. Like you just saw with Prisoners of War, that was once there and not there anymore. Once you sell yours, once it's gone, and it's limited. I mean, go on Marketplace right now, try to find an iiRcade Gold, even an iiRcade. Like, why would someone want to sell theirs when they can do whatever they want? And I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to do anything modding on it right now. I'm just going to keep it stock. It's something I did learn going back to Brooklyn Menace. Something he did say a long time ago. I try to keep everything I have stock. I have other ways of playing multi-K games. The iiRcade games that I bought on there, the Sinden Lycan, the promises that they made, I want to remember them for that. You know, this company. And I walk into my arcade and I see it, and my Space Invaders, like, that's what it reminds me of. Coming right here, making that announcement saying I caved. I bought an iiRcade Gold. And I'm not ready to get rid of that. And this year's been the roller coaster for iiRcade. And I'm going to keep it. I'm not ready to get rid, and I don't want to have any regrets. You know, the price could be right. I wanted to make this video just to advise you, hey, I'd keep it if I were you. It's a great machine. And check this out. This is our new food court. Like, this is it. There's no more restaurants. It's this. Claw machines do attract people though. They're hard. I've actually never won anything on a claw machine before. You can see there is interest. Once a dying mall gets a facelift, new image, attracts all these people. Same can be said for the iiRcade Gold. We got Prisoners of War here. Never gonna forget that now. used to be able to see that at the Castlecade. It's the same way that I'm gonna view my Space Invaders iiRcade. I'm gonna go to a collectible nostalgic store someday, and I'm gonna see iiRcades there. I'm gonna see the iiRcade Gold. And if I sell this, it's gonna remind me of that time that I cashed out too early. I should have held on to it. This is too good to pass up, and I'm telling you, think long and hard. This one's staying here for a long time. I got plenty of ways to play multi-cades, and I'm sure you do too. We all pretty much have every game, the Hilo Hack, the Retro Shooter Kit from Buy Stuff Arcades for my Terminator 2, the Bobby Sarah. I have a ton of different ways. I don't need a fourth multi-cade. I got the iiRcade Gold. The games that I have on here, these are the games that I chose, and I'm gonna live with, and I'm gonna remember the fact of why I went with this. The excitement I had when I announced it, hey, I caved. I bought an iiRcade Gold. We'll see what happens next. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.